So now that there are two Mini 3s, there's a base model and there's a Pro model, you might be wondering what are the biggest differences between either one of them and which one should you get. So in this video, I'm going to go through 14 different things that are the most noticeable in terms of changes, and then if you want to see any more specs, then I'll leave a link in the description to the DJI website where you can compare them side by side. So the first thing, even though this isn't a feature as such to do with filming or anything, it is the price. And at the time of filming this video, the base model, so the Mini 3, is £519 and the Pro model is £709. So there's quite a difference, and I think if you're on a budget, then the Pro isn't going to be for you anyway, so that's when you just go with the base model, the Mini 3. So now moving more on to the actual features and the usage of the drone, and I'm going to start with video resolution. So the Mini 3 Pro shoots up to 4K 60, 2.7K 60 and 1080 120, so you're getting that slow motion. Whereas with the base model, so the Mini 3, you just get 4K up to 4K 30 and 2.7K 60 and 1080 60, so you're not really getting that slow motion, and you're not getting any slow motion at a higher resolution. And if that doesn't matter to you, again, then the Pro model isn't something that you really need to look at, and the base model will do you just fine. So the next thing, which is quite a noticeable difference, is the fact that the Mini 3 Pro shoots in D-Cine-like 10-bit, and the base model, the DJI Mini 3, only has the normal colour profile. And the Pro model also has the normal colour profile as well, but if you want to colour correct and colour grade your footage and just push it a little bit more, then having D-Cine-like and 10-bit is going to give you that extra flexibility to play around with your footage and give it the look that you want. Whereas with the normal colour profile, then you don't really have that. You're kind of just filming and shooting the footage as it is. You can kind of take up the midtones and the shadows a little bit, or bring down the highlights or something like that, but you can't really push it in the sense that you can colour correct it as you could D-Cine-like. So that's something to consider as well. If you use your drone quite a lot to film photos, then the Mini 3 Pro shoots 48 megapixel photos, whereas the Mini 3 only shoots 12 megapixel photos. So again, if you're looking for that higher resolution in photos, then the Mini 3 Pro is going to be the better option. And so this next difference is actually quite a significant one. It's the obstacle avoidance. The DJI Mini 3 Pro has tri-directional obstacle avoidance, which means it's got sensors on the bottom, the back and the front. So if you're flying towards something, it's going to stop if you're getting too close to it. Same with if you're flying backwards, and also if you're flying down. So with the Mini 3, so the base model, you don't have that. You have sensors at the bottom, but that's not really giving you obstacle avoidance. So if you really want that feature, then that's going to be in the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I find that obstacle avoidance is very, very helpful, not because you're necessarily going to be flying recklessly, but if you just want to get closer to a building or trees or something, and you're just not quite sure if you're going to clip a branch and then crash your drone and lose it, then having that obstacle avoidance is really handy, because it just means you can fly with a little bit more ease and know that you can get a little bit closer, and the drone is going to warn you when you're getting too close. And so that brings me on to the next point, which is ActiveTrack. And the Mini 3 Pro has ActiveTrack, but the Mini 3 doesn't have ActiveTrack at all. And this is where obstacle avoidance also comes in, because with the Mini 3 Pro, you've got the obstacle avoidance, so when you're using ActiveTrack, you don't have to worry that the drone is going to crash into something whilst it's following you and you're not necessarily controlling it. So that is again another reason why obstacle avoidance is really useful. But given that the Mini 3 base model doesn't have it anyway, and it doesn't have ActiveTrack, that's not really an issue. But yeah, it doesn't have ActiveTrack on the base model, and if you want to do any of those kind of shots where you want the drone to follow you, whether you're cycling or you're running or you're doing anything really, skiing or anything like that, then the Mini 3 Pro is going to be the one to get, because it has that ActiveTrack feature, which works really, really well as well. With the ActiveTrack technology as well, you've also got two other features, which is point of interest and spotlight. And that just means you can do some really cool shots with those two drone modes that you can't do on the DJI Mini 3. Then the next feature is MasterShots, and this is really cool if you just want to put your drone up in the air and get loads of different shots and then go back later on in the edit and choose which shots you want to take. And this is something that's on the Mini 3 Pro but not the Mini 3. But what you do have on both is QuickShots, and QuickShots definitely works better on the Mini 3 Pro because you're using the tracking feature, whereas with the Mini 3 it's more like adding a waypoint. And I go into a little bit more detail about when that doesn't work in a video that I created about the Mini 3. So check that out, I'll put a link in the description. But the Mini 3 Pro has more options, whereas the Mini 3 only has 5. And with the Mini 3 Pro, you get a transmission feed of 1080-30, and with the Mini 3, it's 720-30. So unless you're looking at these side by side, you're not really going to notice a massive difference. But as soon as you do look at them side by side, then you can notice a difference. But the other thing is the range in which you're going to get. So with the Mini 3 Pro, you're going to get up to 12 kilometers, and with the Mini 3, it's up to 10 kilometers. So the next difference is the max video bitrate, and the DJI Mini 3 Pro has a bitrate of 150 and the Mini 3 has a max bitrate of 100. And this does make a difference in terms of video quality, but it's not a significant difference. So you're not really going to get a massive degradation in quality with the Mini 3 versus the Mini 3 Pro. It's very marginal, and the footage still looks great from both of these, but it just means that you just do have that extra bitrate with the Mini 3 Pro. And then in terms of video format, you can shoot H.264 and H.265 with the Mini 3 Pro, and then just H.264 with the Mini 3. But again, that's not a big deal. The other difference comes down to battery life and flight time. So on the DJI website, it claims that you can get 38 minutes flight time with the DJI Mini 3, and with the DJI Mini 3 Pro, you get 34 minutes. In reality, this isn't necessarily the case. So when I was flying the Mini 3, I got 30 minutes, and when I fly my Mini 3 Pro, I get about 25 minutes, a little over 25 minutes. So you are going to get a little bit extra flying time with the Mini 3, but again, I wouldn't base your decision just on the flight time because it's only a few minutes. Now the Mini 3 has two things that the Mini 3 Pro doesn't have, and that's shooting in 4K HDR. So the Mini 3 Pro does not shoot in HDR, but the Mini 3 does. But then you've also got D-Cine-like with the Mini 3 Pro, so it kind of balances out a little bit. The other thing is that the Mini 3 shoots with a dual native ISO. So it's actually going to give you, or supposedly going to give you, better performance in low light and at nighttime shooting. So it should do better than the Mini 3 Pro in that respect. So as I said, they are the main things when you're shooting video, and you can go onto the DJI website and see a side-by-side comparison of all the specs so that you can see the complete differences between the Mini 3 and the Mini 3 Pro. But this just gives you a general overview based on the features for when you want to shoot video and photos. So I hope this was useful. If it was, please do give the video a like, and I've dropped links in the description to that page on the DJI website and also the video that I did about the DJI Mini 3, so check that out. And thanks for watching. Catch you guys on the next video.